Welcome back to the Tapes Archive podcast, where we release interviews that have never been heard before. In this episode, we have Black Sabbath's guitarist and the godfather of heavy metal, Tony Iommi. At the time of this interview in 1984, Iommi was 36 years old and was promoting Black Sabbath's Born Again album and tour. In the interview, Iommi talks about Ian Gillan joining Black Sabbath and blowing up his boat, thoughts on Ozzy Osbourne remaking old Sabbath tunes, the Born Again live show, Randy Rhoads, and how he really did disturb the priest. The interview is conducted by a new Tape Archive contributor, Canadian music journalist and author Steve Newton. During his 4 decades as a freelance music writer, he has interviewed everyone from AC/DC to ZZ Top. We highly recommend that you head over to his Patreon page, link in the description, and check out over 340 of his exclusive interviews. For only $5, you get full access. We are not paid for this endorsement. We just truly feel it's money well spent. For zero money, you can head over to Newton's website, earofnewt.com, where he has posted more than 3,000 of his interviews, album reviews, concert reviews, and horror movie reviews. A big thanks to Tony Iommi and Steve Newton for allowing us to share this very rare interview with you. Thanks for tuning in, and now it's time to open the vault.
Hello.
Hi, Tony.
Yeah.
Steve Newton from the Georgia Street out in Vancouver.
Hello, Steve. How are you?
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
How's the tour going for you guys?
There's the up-and-coming one, you mean?
Oh, you haven't started yet?
No, not yet.
You play in Vancouver on the 19th?
We already done one half of the tour. We finished before Christmas.
Just for the record, how did you get Ian Gillan to join Black Sabbath?
Well, what version have you heard?
Were you a fan of his, former band Deep Purple?
Always liked, yeah, always liked.
I understand you do one of his old songs, Smoke on the Water?
That's right, yeah.
Why that song?
Well, it's really probably one of Ian's more known ones, you know, aside him being associated with what he'd done before. And he wrote the song anyway, so...
I was wondering why you guys maybe didn't choose Highway Star or maybe Strange Kind of Woman.
Well, we could have done, but I think Smoke on the Water is more of a known song than those, really.
Do you play it like Deep Purple played it, like Blackmore, or do you put your own?
Well, I try and play it more like it was done originally. I obviously do put my own bits in, but I try and keep it more to how it was done.
Well, why did your previous singer Ronnie Dio leave the band?
Oh, it was only doing the live album. He left in between that.
Was he not getting along with the rest of the band members?
Oh, it was just a bit of a conflict, I think. He was doing his actual solo album while we were doing the live album, really, you know, and we wasn't too happy about that situation.
The other new addition to the Black Sabbath is Bev Bevan, an original member of ELO. Was that much of a transition for him, going from sort of a pop rock band to a full-blown heavy metal one?
It was, really. Before ELO, it was, he used to play quite, with the Move, you know.
Oh, yeah?
Heavy drummer. And they used to play quite heavy stuff, you know. In fact, he's known as the Birmingham Basher. And he's quite a pounder. I knew he could play for the hefty stuff. I was surprised when I did hear him when he actually did the way he's improving as we've done the shows, you know.
Is he a permanent member of the band now?
Yes, he is now, yeah.
So Bill Ward won't be coming back?
No. Bill, it's unfortunate, you know, but he did have a problem and with alcohol, you know. And I wouldn't like to see Bill have to go through coming on the road and with his alcohol problem, you know, his drinking problem.
What's the story behind the song Disturbing the Priest on Born Again? You guys actually disturbed the priest when you were recording that, didn't you?
Well, we did actually, yeah. Right next to where we were, we recorded it at a manor house, and right behind the manor house was a church, a cemetery, and that was virtually like just outside the door, really. We used to record sometimes at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, so we started disturbing them.
The priest came over?
Well, we did have a few comments from around the village, actually. I mean, we were disturbed the village, and we went the priest. And we were letting bombs off and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about those bombs. You played a few explosive tricks on Ian.
Oh, yeah.
What happened there?
Well, we done a few, really. I mean, actually quite dangerous, really, with Daft. We've blown a couple of things up, including his boat.
His boat?
His boat, yeah. His boat got blown up. He brought his boat with him, and that went But,
Yeah, bassist Geezer Butler says that Born Again has much the same feel as your very first album.
well, it did to us because it related a lot for us. The feeling of when we done the first album, the feeling of the band was really, the vibes were great, really exciting. We were excited about doing it, and we'd done it quick in comparison to the last few albums we've done, which have taken a while. We've done this album pretty quick. I mean, the next album will probably show better because we'll have been with Ian and worked with him a bit, you know. So we just met Ian and we rehearsed and wrote the stuff and went and recorded it really fairly quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's certainly got a raw sound.
So hopefully the next one now we'll have worked with each other a while. We can improve from there now.
Which is your personal favorite song on the new album?
I like Disturbing the Priest. Zero, the Hero, I like. Trust, I like.
What do you think of the music Ozzy Osbourne's made since leaving Sabbath?
Yeah, I think he's done some good stuff. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the late Randy Rhoads guitar playing?
Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, I thought he was amazing.
Yeah, I hadn't actually heard him in person, but I just heard him from what I'd heard on the radio, you know.
Were you surprised that Ozzy used all old Sabbath songs for his live double album?
Yeah, that was surprising, because there was no need to really do that, because he'd established himself in his own right, really.
Did you guys collect any royalties for having co-written the songs on that album?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So you weren't complaining about that?
No, that was what I just didn't think he needed to do that, though.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not the money so much. I mean, we do this because we like it as well, you know. I mean, obviously the money it is. But I don't think Ozzy would have needed to have done that, really, because he'd own songs put up as they felt on their own.
Yeah, how do you feel after 13 years and 13 Sabbath albums when you see a young band like, say, Def Leppard strike it rich after just a few years on the hard rock trail?
Well, it's good luck to them, really. I mean, obviously there's got to be new people come out all the time, but I don't know a lot of their stuff, what they're doing. I mean, I must admit, I haven't sat down and listened to a lot of the stuff they've done.
Do you feel Black Sabbath paved the way at all for popular 80s heavy metal bands like Judas Priest or Iron Maiden?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, without sounding big-headed or whatever you want to call it, I think obviously we must have had some influence on a lot of the people, you know, along with the Zeppelin and Purple as well. Right?
I'm just kind of wondering, what kind of music do you like to listen to when you're not playing with Sabbath?
A lot of different sorts of stuff. I don't listen to new wave stuff. I listen to, I like jazz, and I like, of course, you know, some of the heavy bands around now. I don't listen to a lot of heavy stuff because obviously we're doing that sort of thing, so you don't like to, I mean, you hear what's about, you hear what's around, but I don't really sort of put my mind to sitting down and listening to for hours. I listen to, like, even stuff like Flashdance.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I got that record. I like that one.
Yeah, I did.
That song, Maniac.
Oh, yeah, I like that. That's great.
Well, I want to ask you a little bit about your live show. You have those big Stonehenge monuments and stuff. What's the live show like?
As far as like musically, or
yeah,
we're doing selections from you know, the past albums and stuff like that, up until now, to Born Again.
And what were some of the old Sabbath tunes that you play? People might remember.
You know, the standards, Iron Man and Black Sabbath, Paranoid,
and visually, what's the show like?
Well, the lights are very, very good. I mean, it is a huge show, really. The actual show, production-wise, is ginormous. And we haven't actually cut some of it down. We did take out with us at first to America. We took out a full rig of the Stonehenge, but the columns that we were using were too big. They were gigantic things. I mean, they are actually bigger than the Stonehenge itself. And so we had to cut them down because the people behind the stage couldn't see. So we had to, we removed the big columns and used the small setup. But even the small setup's quite big. Look.
How do you feel when people say that you play too loud?
Well, I don't take much notice of that because if they like it, they'll like it loud, most of the kids. I mean, we've played loud ever since I've known, so...
Do you ever worry about your hearing?
Pardon?
Do you ever worry about... We get nod, eh?
I don't really worry about it if I got deaf, really.
I was reading an interview you did with Andy Setzer of a Hit Parader thing, and it says when you were a kid, you never thought you'd be able to play the guitar.
No.
Why not?
When I was a kid?
Yeah.
Well, originally when I was a kid, I started off, I wanted to play drums, really. That's what I wanted to play. And then I had a guitar, and I really got interested in it. But I did have this accident, I don't know if you knew, I took the end of my fingers off. The two middle fingers were cut off. And I was told by all surgeons and everything that I'd never be able to play again. I couldn't accept that, and I just went out, let it go, really. I mean, I can't feel the strings in my fingers, the two middle ones. I have to wear like a cap over them, like a thimble. I've just got used to it over the years now.
Who were your main influences on guitar when you were starting out?
Well, a group here, the Shadows, I used to...
Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Stuff like them, and rock and roll stuff. I like stuff Django Reinhardt playing.
Oh, yeah, right.
Not particularly related to him because he done the same thing. He only had two fingers.
That's interesting.
That's really what got me cracking on pushing myself to play,
Just a couple more questions here for you. You always played an SG?
I've always played an SG shape. Yeah, they're not actually SG guitars.
Oh, what kind of guitar is it you've got?
That guitar I've made here in Birmingham by a company, JD Guitars. He makes quite a few now, but we started off this company years ago. It was under John Birch Guitars then, and I used to be a partner in the company. I put a lot of the money into it, and we designed them, and I used to test all the pickups and come back with ideas. And now there's a lot of people use them now. In AC/DC use them, and well, there's a load of people use Stanley Clark.
You never cared much for the Strat or the Les Paul?
Well, I did have a Strat, my first guitar that I really liked. It wasn't the first guitar I had, but the first guitar that I always wanted really was a Strat. And I made, because I'm being left-handed, it was awkward for me to get one, you see, in them days. And I had a Strat, and in fact I used the Strat on one of the tracks on the first album. And then I went to the Gibson. I've used Gibsons really ever since. I've tried Les Pauls, and I've had Les Pauls. I've still got some Les Pauls somewhere. But I don't really use them because I like the sound of them, but you can't get high enough for me anyway. I mean, if you've got long fingers, which I haven't now, but if you have, perhaps they could.
You use Marshalls?
I used to use Marshalls. Still got some Marshalls. I'm using Boogies at the moment.
Mesa Boogie?
Yeah, that's the underwater head.
Okay, well, best of luck till you get up to Vancouver here.
Great. Well, I hope to see you there.
Yeah, I'll try and maybe get back and say hi.
Yeah, bring you the plugs with you.
Will do. Thanks for your time, Tony.
Oh, if you come on, come back, say hello.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, it's Dave.
Best of luck.
Great, thanks very much.
Okay, see ya.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Tapes Archive podcast. Please remember you can always find more information about the show and the individual episodes at our website, thetapesarchive.com. Until next time, the vault is closed.